Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the live conversation about the creative society on ALLATRA TV Ireland channel. What kind of society would we all be happy living in? What is our goal as a humanity? And how can we all together change the world for the better? The project of Creative Society provides answers exactly to these questions. Creative Society is a unique global project which has been uniting people all over the world, and millions of people from all over the world are already discussing their vision of such a society, the one where we all will live happily, and of course, how to build such a wonderful world only by peaceful means and in the shortest time possible. My name is Anne, and today we're hosting this live conversation together with David Ellison, who was our guest previously. Hi, David. And David will now introduce you our guest for today.
Good afternoon from Scotland, everybody. Yes, my name is David, and I am really happy to introduce to you today Daniel Hartz. Daniel is a former client of mine, and he is the founder and host of the Sustainability Champions podcast and Instagram channel. So, Daniel, welcome. Please introduce yourself to us. Tell us a little bit more about your background, but most importantly, what inspires you?
Thank you both very much for the opportunity and for hosting me here on ALLATRA Unites. So I'm Daniel Hartz, and I'm the founder of Sustainability Champions. Sustainability Champions is a media channel that showcases people around the world who are protecting and healing the planet. I believe that we're already working towards a world where the water, air, and soil are clean and healthy, and we have known solutions to mitigate climate change. We're on our way to living on a planet that is safe and healthy for our children, grandchildren, and future generations. And this is all possible because people are taking action to address environmental challenges. And David, to answer your question of what inspires me and what motivates me, well, I started Sustainability Champions because I wanted to focus on constructive thinking and actions about the environment. I think it's important for us to focus on positivity and to focus on solutions, more importantly, than just sitting and dwelling on problems and challenges and doing nothing about them.
Thank you very much. Thank you for introducing you. We know that you have really a lot of followers on your podcasts, and the term for that is an influencer. And this is a very interesting term, I think, because it actually shows, it describes just how much leaders, people can influence the opinion of other people, can change other people's minds about things. And I would like to ask you, what do you think makes a great leader? Because leadership, yes, it comes with a lot of power, but that also means it comes with a lot of responsibility. So what values do you think a great leader should have?
I think the values that a great leader should have, well, first of all, I think the most important thing is to provide a vision. Great leadership is ultimately finding and defining a vision and then sharing that vision with people who they want to influence and to lead. I think the values that a good leader should have include honesty. I think it's important to be transparent and honest about what you're working on and what you're working toward. I also think it's important to be open-minded and to listen, because ultimately, although you may be a leader, you don't know everything. There's just no way that you can, and there are individuals either in your team or people who, quote, follow you, who may know more about certain topics or may know more about how you the best way to accomplish a goal or to accomplish this vision. So it's important to stay open-minded because it really allows you to get the full breadth and spectrum of possibilities. And I would say the third value, although there are many and there's many styles of leadership as well, I would say the third value is to constantly make sure that your team or the people who follow you are okay. So I guess perhaps to summarize that value in a couple of words, it's taking care of people. Because ultimately, if you're leading, you need to make sure that the people who are following you are able to follow you. And I think it's important to make sure that people aren't left behind and to make sure that everyone's on the same page. It also makes the movement, to use that term, more effective if everyone's able to move with you.
Thank you.
So Daniel, like me, you lived in different countries across the world. And just like to ask you a couple of questions on this. What do you think unifies people across the world, irrespective of where they live, what the gender is, what the religion is? What do you think unifies people?
I think, first of all, people are very similar in many ways. There's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There's a lot of psychological studies showing that people think in very similar ways despite culture and so on. I think ultimately what unifies people is love. And I think feeling safe and comfortable and feeling, like people can work together to live a happy life there where they're feeling fulfilled. Ultimately, I believe it does boil down to love and gratitude, because when you're in a state of love, there are no enemies, there are no other, and there is no sense of hatred or kind of apathy either. And so I believe love is really the unifying force.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you answered my second question. So well done.
Yeah, thank you so much. What you're describing, the world where we all could love each other like this, being united as one, without hatred, without enemies, without division, is actually exactly what the project of Creative Society is. And I would like to talk a little bit more about it. But first, we would like to show you and our viewers a small video from the conference that took place recently. It was held on December 20th, 2020. It was called Creative Society United We Can. And let's just watch it, and then I'll ask you a short question about that.
Aliens came to Earth. At first, they flew around it, saw everything, and then decided to talk to the people on Earth. They asked, "Why do you have so much garbage and garbage cans?" "Well, this is because we don't have enough money to build waste processing plants." "But why do you have so many hungry and homeless people?" "Well, this is because we don't have enough money to feed them and build houses for them." "But why are you constantly at war with each other?" "This is because we don't have enough money and we're trying to take it away from others." The aliens scratched their heads and said, "We fly around galaxies, have explored many worlds and planets, but have never met such a rare and, as it turns out, such a very necessary resource as money. Could you show us what it looks like and show where you get it in space? Then we will try to get it, bring you more of this money, and help you establish harmony on your planet." "We don't fly anywhere to get money," the Earthlings answer. "We print it ourselves." "Yourselves?" said the aliens. "Yes." After this answer, Earthlings were deleted from the list of intelligent beings.
So yeah, this is the cartoon in a very humorous and light way. I think it describes the problem of the society we're currently living in. And before we talk about the society we'd like to move into, we'd like to build, I would like to ask you, do you think in general that we should change the format of society as it is, this consumer society where we're just trying to take and, just only searching for our own benefit in everything? Do you think this consumer-oriented format should be changed to something else, to a more creative, a more constructive format?
I think it's an interesting cartoon. Thank you for sharing that. I think we are in a consumerist society. It has been designed in some ways to be built that way. Perhaps the values that are shown or demonstrated are in society are a little bit too much on focusing on, getting more, not having enough, and if you don't have enough, then you need to have more. I think this is really something that can be focused on and changed by going within yourself and really learning that actually happiness is an internal thing. It's something that happiness is something that we generate ourselves. You can say it's in your heart, you can say it's in your mind. It really comes down to the fact that we don't need an outside source to provide happiness. And I think the challenge of advertising and marketing professionals is to generate, or the goal rather, is to generate a little bit of unhappiness and to show, actually, here's some sort of object that you can get to fill that gap. Whether or not that's right or wrong, I don't think is actually, I'd rather focus on what I can do. I'm not going to fight an entire industry around the world. Instead, I'll just say, well, what I can do for me personally to be happy is to understand that that's just a message. That's just a story that advertising and marketing professionals are sharing. And sales, I have a background in sales. I have a background in marketing. I understand advertising, and I believe that these are very important and helpful professions. And in no way, shape, or form, I should just clarify, do I have anything against people who work in these fields? I think what we need to do as individuals, because we're all responsible for ourselves, is to think about what we actually need in our lives and what we can actually do ourselves to achieve happiness.
Daniel, as your Instagram page has over 70,000 followers, as Dan said earlier, this is kind of influencer category. So what would you say would be the role of the media in a creative society?
I think the role of the media is to share, I suppose, the truth, and to share stories that help people grow and that make people better, make people feel fulfilled. I think the media is an incredibly powerful tool, and it's a tool that we can take advantage of and really use to our to move humanity forward and to share educational content. I also think entertainment is massively important. People can't just always be working or productive, quote unquote productive, or constantly doing something to get better or to earn more money, as the cartoon mentioned. Entertainment is an important part of growth. There's a lot that we can learn from fiction. There's a lot that we can learn from documentaries. Also, just rest is crucial. So I think media is a combination of the two. It's a combination of education, sharing what's going on in the world, giving a fair and balanced view of both sides, both good and bad stories, and entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask you about another very interesting and important topic at the moment. We know that right now you're also part of the project, the Eden Deforestation Project. And when I've researched a little bit information about it, I like that as one of its goals, in its mission, it states poverty alleviation through forest restoration. And that's a topic I would like to ask you about, poverty. Why do you think in the modern world with so many different technologies available to us, why do we still have this phenomenon of poverty at all? And do you think is it because the nature is just, it's been depleted, it's not enough for all of us, for all people, it can sustain all of us? Or is it because there is something wrong with our current consumer type of society, and it is this type of society that distributes wealth unequally?
It's an interesting question. I first should mention that in this conversation and on ALLATRA Unites, I'm representing only sustainability champions, and I'm not representing Eden reforestation projects in any way, shape, or form. So the opinions that I'm stating right now are only sustainability champions and me as Daniel Hartz. Your question about poverty is an interesting one. I think, obviously, poverty exists, and it's something that we see in the world everywhere. This is a complex topic because there are, I suppose, idealistic ways that we can pursue poverty alleviation. And, there are government structures that we can put together to attempt to alleviate poverty and make it disappear. And I think communism is a form of that, where everyone is equal, and there are certain, I suppose, from an idealistic point of view, there are certain benefits of that type of structure. I think we need to also notice how it actually works in real life. And so where poverty comes from, I have to be honest, I don't fully understand the exact implications of poverty and how it all comes up. What I can say is that I'm a big believer in individual action. I believe, as I was mentioning about our happiness and our whether consumerism is good or bad, I believe that we can all contribute to the best of our capabilities. I believe that society needs to be merit-based. I believe that if I'm extremely good at one thing, then that allows me to act and to provide to society using that skill set. I also believe that if someone else is good at something else, then that's what they should do, and they should focus on that. And based on this, we can get compensated for our work according to how good we are at what we do. And that's what generates value, is really, how excellent of quality is the work that's provided. I think supply and demand is real. I think supply and demand is a natural phenomenon. And so if something is rare because, it's exceptional, then the value goes up naturally. And if the quality is maybe more, standard or average, and we're able to produce more of it, then the supply is much greater, and we're able to meet more demand, and so the price goes down. I'm kind of moving us away from the question specifically of poverty, but I think it does relate, because the point is that we live in a society where that's kind of market dictates how things work, and so, or the price of goods and services, and so, we as individuals need to be in a place where we are willing to provide goods and services to society and get funds or money in return for that. And I think that system works reasonably well. Money is an easy way to work with other people. And I'd prefer to use money than to start, getting a bunch of sheep and trading sheep for food and things like that. So personally, I'm okay with money as an instrument of trade.
Thank you very much. We've already touched a little bit upon the topic of Creative Society Project, and now I would like to tell our viewers a little bit more about it, because we all, whenever we are creating something, we need to understand what it is exactly we want. We have to have its exact goal in mind, because we are going to be united by this goal. And this goal is described on the ALLATRA Unites website. This is our official website. Here you can find all the information about the project of Creative Society. And there you can also find the article with 8 foundations of the Creative Society. And these foundations, how they came to life. We interviewed our volunteers from every country in the world, interviewed people in their country, asking them one and the